really into playing Fall Guys. Did anybody expect Fall Guys to take off the way it did? I kinda doubt it, especially considering the state the servers were in during the early launch period. I think a big reason for its success has to be its simplicity. Tell somebody you're playing as a little bean, competing in a Total Wipeout / Takeshi's Castle style game show, and they're going to instantly know what you're on about. And due to how much of my life I've lost playing this game, I've also been thinking about it a lot. For a game that has literally no tutorial, save for a few splash screens explaining the very basic concept and the control scheme, every minigame is easily understandable, being introduced with only a few lines of text, and leaving you to figure out the rest through its level design. And it somehow works. Even on your first attempt at many games, it's very easy to qualify. That's what I want to talk about, how Fall Guys teaches you what's going on and how to play it, how to get better, maybe even one day win a coveted crown. Yeah, that's right, I'm doing the sounds for the crown myself. It's high production values we're dealing with here. If you've played Fall Guys for any length of time, I bet you've learned to groan when you see this. Even if you aren't actively playing the game, jokes and memes around this particular level are all over the place. It's widely regarded as the game's hardest level, and the designers in an interview have said that they wanted to make a level harder than all of the others to give it a mystical quality. It's a tough level, but why? Well, it's a race to start with, but you can also get eliminated from it. Normally these two ideas are exclusive to one another. Apparently the original idea for the stage was going to be an elimination stage, but evolved into a race level. If you're struggling with one particular part of the level, you maybe get one chance to retry it before... It's not without reason though. Slime Climb is one of the best tools that designers use to teach you how to play the game. Not only to make you generally more familiar with the controls, but also force you to interact with obstacles from other levels and gain some mastery over them, so that you can one day win a coveted crown. Yeah, that's right, that wasn't a bit. I'm actually going to do that the whole video. Best way to do this is going to be to go through the level step by step and see how each part teaches you something. The very first part of the level is a fairly straight shot broken up by these bouncy triangular walls. Fall Guys repeats a lot of elements in its level design, but nowhere more than in Slime Climb. The bumper walls are found in a few levels, prominently dizzy heights where you have to avoid them while on a series of rotating platforms. And so as a way to get you used to simply navigating through them here, you have to interact with them while on a flat section of road. You can also jump on top of these bouncy platforms, giving you a head start. The game is rewarding you for experimentation, seeing what you can and can't get away with. After this we have the level's main mechanic. This series of blocks that push in and out can knock you off the platform and potentially into the slime. The way this obstacle is handled is actually somewhat similar to how many Mario levels are designed. Link in the description below if you're interested to see what I'm talking about. In this part of the stage, the idea of a series of blocks is introduced. The obstacle is fairly straightforward, and as the slime is still at the very bottom of the stage currently, you will likely have enough time to have a few attempts at this. It's important that Fall Guys players learn to pick up and understand stages very fast, as each one is only a few minutes long. If the player doesn't learn how to avoid this set of push blocks quickly, then they go in the slime. You have to learn or you do not pass. Next up is a slope with balls being pelted at you. The way this happens is very close to what happens at the end of the Dizzy Heights stage, with the twist being the balls can potentially knock you off and get you... Coming back to our Mario style level design, the push blocks return. This time there is no gap between the blocks, meaning you can't stop between them, meaning you have to understand the timings incredibly well. Otherwise, even if you time jumping onto the first one correct, you might still get knocked off by the second. This iterates on the previous incarnation in a way that means you have to understand the timings, otherwise... Well done, you've gotten past the part of the level I struggle with the most. Your reward is a moving set of conveyor belts where you have to juggle constantly moving forward while also dodging obstacles. Hold on a second, that sounds an awful lot like the stage Fruit Shoot, where you have a series of moving conveyor belts and have to combine constant forward momentum while also dodging obstacles. Also, the obstacles being pelted at you are fruit. Up next you have a set of cylindrical platforms. These are also seen in the stage Hit Parade. In Hit Parade, however, your punishment for falling off is you end up in a lower section, and are going to fall a little bit behind anybody who did pass the obstacle. In Slime Climb, if you can't cross this obstacle, you don't get to pass. When I started playing, I could never cross these things on the Hit Parade stage, but now, because I had to learn how to cross them on Slime Climb, I get through them fairly consistently. I can still never pass on Slime Climb, however, when a bean decides to stand in my way and blocks everybody and ruins everything. Hammers everywhere, and hammers are everywhere. They're in tons of levels and don't really act as a bit of a nuisance. If you can learn to consistently dodge them, you have a big advantage in levels like Tail Tag, where being able to navigate around them means you'll be able to lose assailants very quickly. This is also where we see a slippery surface that makes you move a little bit like you're on ice. So this is teaching you both to get used to 2 obstacles that appear in other levels, but also important to help you get used to moving on slime, which you'll need for the very last part of the level. We wouldn't want you to get. To complete push block training, we must show we can navigate a series of long, fast-moving push blocks. One final test for the challenge this level has introduced, and it even has a mastery element where it is possible to run through the entire section without having to stop once, giving you a big lead on other beans, and the rising slime of course. This level has introduced us to a concept, that being these push blocks. It has then iterated on that concept, and then presented one final challenge, to show that you as a player have mastered them. Most Mario levels do have an extra part where you can demonstrate your mastery with a flagpole challenge, but Fall Guys levels are pass-fail situations, so it wouldn't really be applicable. All of this learning has likely happened over multiple attempts at the stage, but you do have to prove you can learn, attempt and master many obstacles, and should be ready for any Fall Guys level, even ones they might add in the future. This is the final test. You must navigate a series of moving obstacles on a slimy floor, and then get past a series of swinging balls. This is basically the same as the end of Hit Parade, but with the obstacles in reverse. However, now there's no safety net. If you get knocked in Hit Parade, you get a setback, but if you get knocked back in Slime Climb, you get... There you have it, how the hardest level in Fall Guys teaches you not only how to play it, but also makes you better at many of the other levels in the game. A combination of forcing players to adapt fast and master mechanics found in other stages makes you more likely to one day take home a precious crown. So the next time you get... Don't rage quit, think of it as a learning experience. Slime Climb is just like a really harsh teacher, or a tiger that eats you if you get a question wrong in a pub quiz. It's mean, but only because it wants the best from you. And if you do decide to rage quit, record it for all of us to watch and enjoy. Thanks for watching.